Hi folks, I'm Nate with Two Guys in a Ride, and welcome to our Car Tech how-to video on the 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander, and this is the Platinum Edition with the 2.4 liter four-cylinder turbo engine. Today I'll be covering the driver's information and infotainment screens. I'll do a general overview, show you how to access information, and do a deep dive. Let's get started. Today we're working with our friends at Lead Cart Toyota of Mankato in beautiful Mankato, Minnesota. Okay, how fun it is to step inside Grand Highlander finally, and it is absolutely beautiful. Oh man. Now, the driver screen itself is a 12.3-inch fully digital screen, and right now you're going to see you got a tach on the left, you got a speedometer on the right with a bunch of information inside those gauges, and then you've got a center middle area that's also got some information. All three of these are controllable, and you're going to do that using the steering wheel controls on the left side of the steering wheel. You got 4 arrows plus an OK button and a back button. So to start with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just press the left arrow here, and you're going to see the numbers changing down below. You got a 1, you got a 2, and you got a 3. So these are like 3 presets. So you can change the information inside the tach and the speedometer, and then in the middle, and then just flip between these different, I'm going to call them different scenes. Okay, and so it makes it very handy to quickly change to the things that you most commonly use. Now, to change anything, you're going to click, right now it says, I believe we're on, I want to be on 1. There we go. So I'm going to press and hold the OK button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change this to driving support. I'm going to use the left arrow to go over here, and I am going to change to eco indicator. And then I'm going to use the right arrow to go over to this side, and I am going to change from fuel economy over to all-wheel drive. Okay, now I'm going to let that go, and then I'm just going to wait a minute for everything to disappear. And now when I go here to 3, 2, and 1 is going to show the things that I just put in there. So that's how easy it is to change. Now, there's a lot more information that's available, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press and hold the OK button. This is kind of how you get into the system. And right now you're going to notice there's white brackets around the center area, meaning this is the area I'm going to adjust. And then you'll see that there are white dots on the right side. They do disappear if you're not careful. So, all right, so we have messages, we have settings, we have map, we have driving support, blank if you don't want anything there, and then message. And if I press the left arrow, I go over to the left side, and I've again have several things. So I have eco, driving support, navigation, audio, drive info, trip A, trip B, tire pressure, all-wheel drive, and then back to the top, which is blank. Now, I'm gonna go all the way over to the right by pressing the right arrow and just show you the screens that are in here. So we have this, we've got tire pressure, we've got trip B, we've got trip A, drive info, audio, navigation, driving support, and eco indicator, and then fuel economy, blank. Now you notice that these things are the same between both gauges. So the idea is you turn some off inside of each gauge so they won't show up. And the way we're going to do that, I got to press and hold OK again. Okay, I'm going to go over to the left, and I'm going to go to the left again. Now here is where you can turn on or off the different windows that'll show up. So what I'm going to do, just to make it easy, I'm going to go back to the top here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I would say, okay, oops. Okay, I'm going to say I'm going to leave fuel economy on. I'm going to take every other one off. Now, you would want to spend some time going through this, going, what really do I want to show up on the left, and what do I want to have show up on the right? Okay, so that's done. Now I'm going to go over to the speedometer gauge, and I'm going to go to the right again. And again, I am now going to check off every other one, so they will be different than what I have in the left gauge. Okay, so now I'll press the left arrow. So now I have blank, eco indicator, navigation, trip A, tire pressure, blank, and that's it, okay? Because I've taken the other ones off. If I go over to the left, then I have blank, fuel economy, driving support, audio, trip A, and tire pressure. Okay, and then I'm back to blank. So some of them I inadvertently left the same. I have trip A on both, but you get the idea. So you can go through and you can customize what's going to be available in the left window, what's going to be available in the right window for the inside the speedometer. Okay, so let's go to the middle for a minute. I'm going to press and hold OK again, and let's see what's in here. So you've got a blank screen. If I let that go, this is what you get. If I go down, you get driving support, so you get your dynamic radar cruise control. If I go down again, also your lane keeping assist. You've got your map if you've got navigation running. And then you've got settings. And then you have any vehicle messages that will show up. Now, you noticed in maps, and I don't have the maps running, but if you press OK, it's going to slide open and give you a much bigger view of the map, and you notice your tack disappears and your speedometer your gauge disappears, but you still got your digital speed at the top of the screen. You've got media over on the left, you've got trip A on the right. Now, if I take my arrows in this screen and I go over, then it comes right back to this screen. Okay, so it's not a screen whatever you have set currently is what shows up. Let's see, let's go back here. Let's go press OK, and let's go up to map again. Okay, so for instance, if you wanted this view, but you didn't want tire pressure, okay, the way to do that again is to press and hold OK. Take the right arrow, go over here, change this to whatever you want. Let's say you want eco indicator. Okay, just leave it there. Go over to the left, and instead of blank, over here you want fuel economy. Okay, and then you're gonna go back to the middle. You're on map, you press the OK button. So now I've got that eco indicator on the right, and I've got my economy on the left. So you can set what shows up on the left and right. You just can't do it in this screen. All right, so I'm gonna go back. All right, I'm gonna press and hold OK. Okay, so that was map. Now, under settings, there are a few things to look at. So I'm gonna press and hold OK. And you can adjust the meter brightness. So if I click on that, I can now adjust this from the steering wheel. However, there is a physical control just to the left of the dashboard underneath it that gives you the brightness and dimness right as a physical control. You also have an odometer and trip meter that is right there that you can flip through. Okay, that's all physical, but you can do it from here. I'm gonna hit the back button in a minute. All right, I'm gonna go down here now. I'm not gonna show you every single one of these, but they work basically one of two ways. So for the HUD, if I just press the OK button, let it go, I shut off the HUD. If I press and release again, it turns it on. But if I press and hold, this has a beautiful 10-inch HUD display that shows out over, it looks like it's hanging out over the front of the hood. Now I can click on this, and I can adjust the brightness of the HUD, and I can adjust the position. So depending on how you're sitting, you can raise or lower it. Okay, if I hit the back button and I go down to HUD driving support and I click OK, I can have full, standard, or minimal. Okay, and full is going to give you much more stuff on the screen, and minimal is going to give you less, and then of course standard gives you kind of a mixture of both. But if you want to see everything that's possible to see in the HUD, you're going to want to select full. Okay, now HUD rotation, if I click on this, you can use the right and left arrows to rotate the HUD, because just depending on how you sit in the seat, it may not seem straight, and then you can use these buttons to rotate it left to right, and then it'll look straight to you. All right, I'm gonna hit the back button. I'm gonna hit the back button again. Now, Lane departure assist, if I click and hold, now I get several options. First of all, I can click and just a quick click to turn it on or off. I can look at alert options, okay? And then if I do that, I can have vibrating steering wheel. I can have just a sound. Okay, those are my choices. And then I can go down to alert timing, and I can adjust that just with the OK button. I'm going to hit the back button. Okay, so the rest of these are going to work the same way. So blind spot monitoring, it's again a quick push to turn it off. And we'll wait till we'll hit the back button here in a minute. A quick push to turn it on, and a push and hold to change the settings in it. Okay, and these all work the same way. Okay, so I mean you have just so many of them, but they function the same way. Now down here at the bottom you have vehicle setting. So I'm going to click and hold on that. Okay. You can turn on or off the brake suggestion, which will, if it senses you're weaving on the road or something, it'll suggest you take a break. A quick click turns that off, and a quick click turns it back on. Traffic jam assist. Okay, a quick click turns it off, and the same to turn it back on again. Okay, there is no push and hold for these. It's just on or off, and then you can have. Yeah, it just goes through this whole list of everything. Now, if I go here, like the dynamic radar cruise control, for instance, if I click, now I can make some settings in the dynamic radar cruise control. Okay, and it's just a extended resume time. I can turn that off or on. Acceleration, how aggressive do I want the vehicle to accelerate when I hit resume? Do I want it to just barely go, or do I want it to really go, or somewhere in the middle? Okay, so curve speed reduction, you can sense how sensitive it is around the curves, or you can turn it off completely. All right, I'm gonna hit the back button. Okay, so all of these work the same way, and you just click on them, click and hold, and then you can make these adjustments. It'll take a little while in your driveway to go through them, but there's so many different ones that you can do. Right? And that is where you will find them all. All right. Scheduled maintenance. I love this about Toyotas here. You can reset the data here if you want. Okay. But you got oil maintenance. You got your auto start stop. And if I click on that, I can have standard or extended. Okay. I'm going to go back and hit the back button here. Rear seat reminder. So you can just turn that on or off. Okay. I'm going to go down again. Driver monitor settings. Click on that. You can turn that off or on. Hit the back button. Stop lights display. You can turn that off or on. Now, hit the back button, and I'm going to go down to meter settings. Okay, under meter settings, I got to press and hold. You can change language, units, meter type, and meter style. So let's go up and let's go to units first here. These are all the different selections you can make. Select the one you want, press OK. All right, I'm gonna go down to meter type. Okay, I can have the standard gauges like they are. I can have the widgets on either side, so that's what you see on the left and the right, and then of course the RPM with the speedometer inside of it in the center. And I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go to this meter type, and then you get rid of all the round gauges altogether. If you click the OK button, you get rid of some of the little widgets that are at the bottom, but they're kind of nice because the one's the graph on the left and the other one is your media. So I really like those. Okay, but that is the other way that you can change what you're seeing in the driver's screen. I'm going to press back here again. Okay, meter style. Okay, this is smart. I can have it as casual. I can go tough. I can go to sporty. And so those are all the different views that you can get on this beautiful 12.3-inch digital dash. All right, I'm going to hit the back button again, and that is the bottom of that list. So I'm going to hit the back button again, and that was settings. And again, here you'll just get messages from the vehicle if it needs to tell you something. Oil changes, windshield wiper fluid low, that kind of stuff. Okay, so that is it for the driver's information screen. Next, we're going to move over to the infotainment screen. All right, moving over to the infotainment screen. Now, this is a 12.3-inch screen. It has 11 speakers, including a subwoofer. It's a JBL audio system. It has AM, FM, HD, Sirius XM, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, navigation, and a 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot as well. Now, this is actually a hybrid version that I'm doing on the infotainment screen on, but I'm going to go through it and show you everything that the Grand Highlander would have, the non-hybrid version, and then I'll go back and I'll show you some additional things that the hybrid screen has on it that you would not have if you have the non-hybrid version. All right, so to start with, there's no home screen. This is it. These are the icons on the screen. You've got navigation, media, FM, or all your radio. You've got your phones, and then you've got, this is an extra part here, energy flow, that you wouldn't have on the non-hybrid. And then this is all the settings. Okay, now, getting back to navigation, I can't get into the navigation system because you have to set up through the app and stuff, but I can tell you that I've seen it work. It's very nice, it's very responsive, and it works really well. You can get traffic features on it, all sorts of stuff. So it is a nice feature. Let's move on to media. So in the media, you get your sources right here, or you can click sources for additional things like Apple Music or Amazon Music. Now, how do you tune the radio? How do you set a favorite? And let's see if we can find how you manage favorites. All you got to do to set a favorite is click the little heart next to the station, and it adds it. Just to show you, that's 93.1. And if I go back to favorites, 93.1 FM has been added. Take the heart away. Okay, it's been removed. You can undo that if it was a mistake. I'm just going to click back here, and now you can see it's gone. But if you just click on a favorite, do you notice all your favorites show up right here? If you hit edit, you can also get rid of them here, okay? Or you can take and change the order of them by clicking and dragging on here. So it's nice that when you click on a favorite, it takes you to the favorite page, okay? If you're actually in something like this, you can also just click that heart like I showed you. All right, so how can you tune? Well, you notice that when I was in here, you have a channel button. So you can click and you can go through these, okay? Or you can hit the scan, it'll go to the next one. And then eventually it will go to the next one after that, okay? If you, though, want to just tune kind of the old-fashioned way, you can go to tune here, and you can actually type in a number. And you can do that for FM, AM, or Sirius XM. All right, so it's going to be the same for AM radio. We'll just click on one here. You can see it's the same thing, and tuning is the same thing. You notice that when I went to AM right here, and I clicked on my favorite recently played, it brings up all the favorites again. So they're always there. And the favorites are mixed between FM, AM, and Sirius XM. They're all together, which is really nice. All right, let's go back here. And I'll just show you Sirius XM real quick. Okay, and so here's ones that are recommended. But you can pick a category here. So you can go say music. You want a holiday music. You can just click right there. And there you go. Now, you do have a few other features in it because it's Sirius XM, but notice you still have the heart to make this a favorite, and you've got the channel buttons down here. But because it's Sirius XM, you do have a pause button, and you do have a forward and back button. All right, we're going to go back. All right, so that is how you're going to save a favorite. That is how you're going to adjust the favorites, delete them, and or rearrange their order. And the other thing we need to talk about is how to adjust sound. Now, I wish there was something right in the screen that'll allow you to do that, but what you need to do is you need to go down to settings, and you go down to sound and media, and here you have levels, sound tuning, and media. So auto sound levelizer, what that's going to do is as the ambient noise in the vehicle gets louder, it's going to increase the volume of the stereo, and when it gets less inside the car, it'll decrease the stereo. And the whole idea is that it sounds the same to your ear, whether you're going, 65 down the interstate or you're going 30 in town, and you don't have to keep adjusting. We do have sound tuning, so you got treble, mid, and bass, and balance fade. So if I just click this, I can drag it, and these are all just click and drags. If I go down here, balance and fade, you can do this, or you can just click on the dot and drag it where you want. Now the nice thing is, you can click the recenter button, which will put it right back in the middle. All right, and we'll just drag this back to where it was in the middle. And then if you go to media, you can choose to display cover art if you want. Those are the pictures that show up with your songs. And then under radio, you can have display FM info on or off, just a simple click. And the same with HD radio for FM and HD radio for AM. You can clear radio station history right here, which is really nice. Under Sirius XM, you've got a few more things. You can block explicit things. You can allow for notifications for your favorite artists, that kind of stuff. And when you tune to a song, it goes to the beginning of the song instead of in the middle. All right, I won't go through the rest of these, but you can get notifications for sports and music. And then, of course, you have help and support. Now, let's go back to media for a minute. So that's the radio. Okay. Let's go down to phone. Now, I haven't hooked a phone yet, and I'm going to right now. I've got an Android device. So what I'm going to do in my Android device is go to Settings. I'm going to go to Connections, and then I'm going to go click on Bluetooth. And now I'm going to click Connect a Device. So it's searching, and on my list of available connections, I got Toyota Grand Highlander. So I'm going to click on that, and it's asking me if this number is the same on my phone as it is on the screen. If it is, you hit pair. It is, so I'm hitting pair. Okay, now this is an important step. It says your device is now connected and supports Android Auto. If you were doing an iPhone, follow the same process, but it would say, would you like to enable Apple CarPlay? You want to click OK if you want it. Otherwise, it's just going to go to regular Bluetooth. Now, on my phone, it says, do you want to allow access to contacts? I'm going to say allow. Allow access to messages. Yes. I'm going to click allow. Okay. And then what's going to happen is that it's going to go right into Android Auto. Here we go. Now, my phone doesn't have a Wi-Fi signal right now. So this would be Google Maps that was showing up. Okay. So you got two windows. You got navigation, and then you've got media right here. You'll notice that this window has two dots. So if I swipe over, then this has suggestions. Now, they're not popping up because I don't have Wi-Fi, but that's what they are. These are your most recently used apps. Whatever you use most recently will reappear here. If you want to see a list of all the apps, click on the dice there. Okay. And it's going to give you the list. And the way you scroll through them is up and down. Now, if you're using Apple CarPlay, you're going to go left and right. Okay? And you can click on any of these that you want. So you'll have anything that's media related, not video, but sound. So audio books, anything that's music or talk will show up here, as well as your phone. Okay? So let's just go into phone for a minute, because if you make a phone call and you're connected to Android Auto, this is what's going to pull up. Okay, so you have recent contacts, and then under more, you can dial a number or go to voicemail. All right, I'm going to click this window here. You can also use the Google Assistant here, and it will operate on your phone. And if you set your Android phone to wake up to that command, Once you put your phone down, you connect it and you put it down, you can give your phone voice commands, open up certain apps, close certain apps. So you can do that all by voice control, even though it's running off your phone. So how do I get back to the Toyota system? Well, right here on the screen, they have an icon. And you just click on it, and it takes you right back. Bluetooth devices. Now, you can manage devices here, so you can add up to a number of different devices. And then once you pair them, so you can decide which one will be the priority, so meaning it will be connected to the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Now, the other phone will still be able to play media through this, and will also be able to do phone calls through this. Okay, so it can manage several phones, and that is where you go. And if you click here, this is a great thing to remember. If you ever sell the vehicle, you're going to want to go into your phone and you're going to want to click Forget. Okay, and you see this setting here, it says use for Android Auto, and then the other phone would just have these two on and this off. All right, now I've gone down here to the vehicle icon, and under climate, you can adjust things for the front, and one of the things you can do is you can sync, you can turn the AC on, you can change the airflow direction just by clicking on this, it changes. Now, what's really cool about this is called S-Flow, and what this does is it automatically senses which front seats are occupied and directs the air there, and doesn't do the other side. And then down here you've got fan speed, okay, which is not going to be on right now, but it would be showing if your climate system was actually on. Now, for the rear, you can have the same kind of things here, but you can also adjust temperature. There I go. Get it to turn the fan on. Okay, I'm going to turn rear off just because I don't want the noise, but you can turn the rear to auto if you want. And then under options, you can have eco, cool, or heat. Just simply click to turn it on. And the same with the de-icer. And the vehicle isn't running that right now, so because it's just on battery, so that won't come on right now, but it will when you start it. Okay, that's climate. Under trip information, you're going to get your current history, which is right now 3 miles per hour because we're at a standstill. That's our average speed. 365 miles we have on our range, and our trip duration was 1 second because we're actually inside the dealership. You want to look at the history, you can look at that. You can update it, you can clear data. Don't worry about that. That is just because the vehicle has just been used to move from point A to point B on the dealership lot. Okay, vehicle alert. All right, if there's any alerts for like windshield wiper fluid, low on fuel, change oil, you can see any alerts right in here. Okay. And that's all under vehicle. Let's go to the settings. Now, this is where you would set a profile. Right now, this is set to guest. I'm not going to change that, but all you got to do is click Get Started and follow the directions on the screen to set your driver profile. And what that should do is it'll set your media preferences, like your favorites for radio station, your sound settings, and in general, it also sets your seat, personal info. If you want to go into that, you can. We're not going to go into that one. We've been here already, so I'm going to go back. Under general, okay, you can turn that screen beep you're hearing on or off. And then this is really cool, screen sensitivity. So if you're wearing gloves, you might want to turn the sensitivity up to 3, and it will be much more responsive to your fingers. If you find it too responsive, then you can click it down all the way to 1. Right here, you can set the date and time, but even if you're in, say, music, if you just click on the clock, it's going to bring you right to this screen, which is really cool. It's a little shortcut. All right, keyboard here, it'll do any history that you've typed in. So you want to clear your search history, also a good thing when you sell a vehicle. Okay, language and units. So here you can click on the language and you can change it to English, Spanish, or French simply by clicking on it. And then you can set it automatically based on your regional location, which is really cool. So that was all under general. So down here we have Wi-Fi. It does have a 4G Wi-Fi hotspot. You can turn that on. You can actually hook to Wi-Fi. So if you turn that on, Okay, I'm not going to continue because this will cancel my phone, but you can actually hook to your home Wi-Fi if you want. Okay, this is to use the vehicle as a hotspot where other phones and devices can connect to this throughout the trip. All right, under display, you have screen and camera. Under, you can turn the display off and you simply tap the screen. That's twice, but then it comes on. Ambient lighting. All right, this is how light or dark the screen is. You can click this on and it bases it on the time of day. You can also adjust the brightness right here, and you can adjust the contrast depending on your vision there as well. Now, if you turn this off, you get daytime or nighttime dark, and then you can set the brightness of that as well right there, and the contrast. Okay. All right. Under camera, you can adjust the brightness and contrast of the backup camera or the 360 cameras as well. Okay, let's go back here. We have already been to sound and media. Okay, so I will bypass that. Vehicle customize. Well, let's go into this. So lights, auto on sensitivity. This has auto headlamps, so when it starts to get dark, the headlights automatically come on. Now, if you're thinking, wow, they don't come on early enough, I'd like them to come on earlier, this is where you change that. Okay, I like it to be brighter out when the lights come on. I want it, if that's too early, then switch to bright. And if you say, I want it a lot darker before, you can make all those adjustments right here, which is really, really a neat option. The lights will go off automatically if you set this. You can turn that feature off here, but they can stay on for up to 90 seconds if you want. So you get out of the car, shut everything off, walk up to your door, you still got some lights coming from the car. These are daytime running lights. Now, a lot of insurance companies will give you discounts for having daytime running lights, so that's a nice feature to have there, but you can turn them off. Any exterior lights, you do have an additional timer for those, 7.5 seconds up to 30 seconds, or off completely. All right, door control. When you get in the car, do you want it to auto lock all the doors when you shift from park into a gear? Do you want it by speed, and generally that's about 5 miles an hour, and all of a sudden all your doors lock? Or do you want to turn that feature off and you want to use the power button on the door to lock or unlock the doors? I find shift from park is a nice thing. Also, auto unlock. You have the same choices, but you also have when the driver door gets unlocked, then it unlocks all the other doors, or off. Okay, the key fob, which is right here. Okay, you want it a double press to unlock or not. If you turn that off, it's a single press and it unlocks. Lock when door opened. Okay, you can turn that feature off if you don't like having the door locked automatically as soon as it's opened. All right, let's go down to climate. So you can have the AC mode come on automatically when you turn the auto climate on. Okay, or you can have that off. Let's go back here for a minute. All right. You can go into dealer info if you want. That's just, you can enter that in, so your dealership's information is already in there. You can do a privacy lock on your whole system so no one can get into it. You can do a whole system reset, which will remove all users' personal data and reset everything to their original settings. But if you're experiencing issues, that might be a way to try and solve it. This does, of course, have over-the-air updates, and then this will tell you if there's an update available. Remote connect. Okay, so if you want to connect remotely, like from your phone, the Toyota mobile app, then you want to put that through, and it has to authorize. But then you can have that. And then you can control things like automatic start, stop, windows up, down, read your climate, you know, how much gas you have left, all that kind of stuff. All right. Now, down below here, we have all physical controls for the climate, which I absolutely love. So you can use the screen climate, but really don't need a lot. But you got your heated and ventilated seats right here for driver and passenger. Okay, you have got sync button, which we rarely see anymore for the climate. You can increase the temperature or decrease, and it's off right now. So if I go ahead and I turn it on, it's on auto. You can see it's set at 69, but I can turn this one and set it to 73. When I hit sync, they go back together. You got your front defrost, rear defrost, your fan off. You got rear defroster here. Let's turn the fan down. Okay, you can get to the rear climate right here. So if I power on the rear climate and I go here, now I'm adjusting everything for the rear climate. Okay, you notice it says rear. Okay. Yep, it adjusts the fans back there. So that is all really nice. And then you got your recirculatory button. But it is nice that it's all right here. I love it that they put all physical buttons right in here. All right, last thing I want to show you before I get to the hybrid stuff real quick is the backup camera. So right here we have got overhead 360 view. It's showing you what's kind of like, there's a sign right here, so it's showing you the object. You do have dynamic swivel guidelines, and right now, because I am in reverse, it's showing me the backup camera here, and that's where the guidelines are. However, if I put it down into drive and I hit the camera button, which is down here, I get my front view. Okay, still, I love the 3D graphics that they use on here. Okay, now I can go here and I can get a little narrower view of my car and see more of what's next to me. I can go here and I can get rid of the guidelines. Okay, if I'm in a view to see them. Okay, and then if I go here, when I turn on automatic, as soon as I slow down, like in a parking lot, to I believe it's right around 5 miles an hour, the front camera will automatically come on. And then you've got some settings for the camera here. You can have a cornering view, a view under vehicle, and a Toyota Park Assist, okay, which I just think is really, really cool. If you click on that, you can have change detection alert distance. You want it standard or no, only when it gets really near. I mean, you can see the sensors adjusting. So it's not going to warn you as early here. Okay, same for the rear. Okay, but that is just really cool. You can even change the body color of your vehicle and say, well, I have a red Grand Highlander, so I'm going to do that. And then when you go back here to the camera, your vehicle's red. But I mean, there's just a really, really neat surrounding here. Okay, you see these guidelines here. Now, I remember I told you this button would turn those off. That's what it does. So just phenomenal 360 camera. I love it that it takes the whole screen, and the picture quality is really, really sharp. It's really nice. Now, I promised you that I would show you a few things that are specific to the hybrid, and that is the energy flow button. Okay, if you don't have a hybrid, you're not going to have that, but it will give you a nice little graphic. Okay, and really that's pretty much it. Everything else is exactly the same as it would be on a non-hybrid Grand Highlander. So you do have that one extra feature if you have a hybrid version. All right, that is it for the driver's screen and the infotainment screen on the beautiful 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander. And again, this is the platinum trim level. Hope this is helpful. Thanks for watching.